This episode is brought to you by the Colfax Avenue Business Improvement District. Looking for fun that's a little less fancy and a lot more Colfax? Even during VRT construction, your favorite street is bringing the vibes, food, fun, and unforgettable events. Show your love by visiting Colfax businesses or joining this spring for the Krabby for Colfax Seafood Boil fundraiser, the first annual Apothecary Tour, Big Wigs Bar Crawl, and the Colfax Avenue Community Cleanup. Support the places that make Denver, Denver. I mean, I love the people of Colfax. My favorite guy in a bathrobe, wig, cigar. So look, maybe I'll see him there. I'd love to see him there. That's what makes Colfax Colfax. You don't know who you're going to see. Colfax is always open, always authentic, and always worth the trip. Get all the event details and sign up at colfaxav.com. That's colfaxav.com. Today on CityCast Denver. The southern Colorado city of Pueblo is a unique place. To some, it's a grimy industry town whose best days are behind it. To others, like my aunt and cousins, it's home. So when I heard that a Pueblo-themed bar was opening in downtown Denver, I was skeptical. I knew I needed to call a Pueblo expert to help me decide if this Pueblo bar was the real deal or just a weird developer's mirage of what they think the city is. That expert, my best friend and born and raised Puebloan, David Casados. Today is Thursday, May 19th, 2022. I'm Bree Davies, and this is CityCast Denver.
Hi.
Zach.
Nice to meet you, Zach. I'm Paul.
Nice
to meet
you.
I'm Bree.
Nice to meet you.
And this is David.
Yeah.
Oh, do you mean?
Yeah. He got here early. We've been chit-chatting.
Of course, David beat me and Paul to the new Fuel and Iron bar on Blake Street last week. He was already making friends with the staff by the time we showed up.
I know. I was like, that's what took me so long, was trying to figure out where
Oh, it's a mess right now.
One of the owners, Zach Citron, explained that construction on Blake has been keeping business pretty slow.
Yeah. Roll with the punches.
But I think that probably also has something to do with the recent Westward op-ed accusing him and his business partner of appropriating Pueblo's culture for their own personal gain.
Well, why don't we start with a tour?
Okay.
Sure. Can you show us around?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, let's do it.
And like I said, I was skeptical too. But as soon as they started pointing out all the little details, explaining how they got Pueblo artist Dan Levinson to paint them a big, beautiful mural, and talking about why they did this, I really wanted to give them a chance.
So the age of the building and the character is really what drew us to this space in particular. Our day job is real estate brokers who specialize in helping restaurants and bars find locations. Yeah. And I was actually touring this space with a client, and the client wasn't a huge fan of it. And Nathan and I turned to each other and we're like, well, we love it. Exposed brick, the tin ceilings, it's you just can't recreate character like this. And there was a lot of parallels between this building and our building down in Pueblo.
It turns out that what Zach and his business partner Nathan Stern are doing is quite a bit more ambitious than just opening a bar. They also bought a giant old building in downtown Pueblo that's been sitting vacant for decades. They want to open a food hall to showcase Pueblo's unique history of Mexican, Italian, and Eastern European cultures coming together, but also show Denverites that Pueblo is awesome.
You know, I think there's another common misconception that Pueblo lives in the past, like that his best days are behind it. We couldn't disagree more. There is so much vibrancy and incredible energy within Pueblo. And so, you could come for the past, but you really get hooked by the present and the future. And that's what's most exciting for us.
So these developer dudes can talk the talk, but can they walk the walk? David Casados grew up in the shadow of the steel mill that the Fuel and Iron bar is named after, and I knew he was itching to talk about it. You really want one of those combos?
I kind of, I don't know. Well, the Tecate and mi campo sounds fun.
Yeah, I was like, I don't see you drinking Fernet or Montucky.
I mean, when in Rome. And you know what? I do have to say right off the bat, this is such a handsome space.
Yeah?
It's exposed brick. Like, you don't know what you're getting into anymore in downtown Denver some of the time.
Fair.
And when I saw the address, I hoped that it would be
an older building like
building,
this.
But I did not know that it would. It's showing its beautiful bones. Super, I just think, handsome and accommodating. And a really bold but refreshing take on what people would transpose from Pueblo up to Denver. I think my aunts were super excited about having like a culture touchstone up here, just
Really?
some kind of representation, but they were skeptical, you
Sure.
know, of its execution. I'm gonna be excited to report back to them how handsome I thought the space is.
That's good to hear, because part of the reason I wanted to talk to you is you are a much less cynical person than I. And I was cynical about 2 white developers wanting to open a Pueblo bar. And I wondered, you, as my best friend from Pueblo, sorry to my Pueblo family I didn't invite on this trip. Sorry, Aunt Karen.
They're busy.
They're busy. I really wondered what you would think.
You know, if anyone ever came up here for a Rockies game, or if they were staying at Union Station, this would 100% be a place I would say stop. It's a beautiful watering hole. The mural that greets you when you come in, I really think is a familiar landscape, but it also has familiar faces.
So
It's
it's like
really
the
well
steel
done.
mill in the background.
Yeah.
And then there's this like table of a family eating. I would dispute that they are coming right off work because they're all dressed real fancy.
Oh yeah, they look super, super fancy. I was like, wow, if only I would love to think of Pueblo in my imagination as people like getting that dressed up. But it's Colorado, and that can be a stretch in either direction. So it's nice. It's nice.
So you liked it. You don't think that it's too, I don't know how to put, I don't know.
Performative, you don't want to say.
Yeah.
And I don't think, what I would say is it is it's a refreshing take on something that I think everyone up here is used to attaching a negative connotation. It's not like this warm embrace across Colorado, but there are spots within it that like it's a beautiful place.
This is a building you don't see a lot of in downtown Denver anymore.
No.
But you see it in smaller towns in Colorado.
I loved seeing the basement.
Oh man, that was cool. Freaky for sure.
But you have to
But-
think like all the things that this was. Like
Oh.
this could have been like some gross club that we probably both came to.
I know. Oh my God, that's what I want to ask you. So they have this like, speaking of gross clubs that we went to. No, they're going to be opening this like gay pirate themed tiki bar upstairs.
Yeah.
And then when I heard that, I thought, I'm pretty sure that David told me the gay bar in Pueblo was pirate themed.
Yes.
The Pirates Cove, which sounds like a water slide, not a bar.
Yeah. Now I think it's just called the Cove. I've only been a few times, and the last time I was there, there is a giant boat in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's so I was on the other side. I was on the stern, if you will, and someone from the other side of the bar bought me and a friend a shot, and we went over to say thank you, and the party got up and left. So I was like, dang, we thought that was really cool and nice, but we just cleared this place. So yeah, that is true. The lone, I believe, GLBTQ plus bar, the place that you go and potentially get like a drag show in Pueblo, has a fake boat inside of it.
Oh my God. You can't replicate that.
It's culture. Culture.
That is culture. That's what I go to Pueblo for. The gay culture. I know you mentioned that you had talked to your aunts about it. What do you think your family would think about a Pueblo-themed bar in Denver?
Getting past the skepticism.
Yeah.
They were really excited about it. I did not know about this. They brought it to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was.
So the word is on the street in Pueblo.
Word is on the street, and it was all said with a lot of enthusiasm. So I'm excited to be able to report back how just handsome the space is. Like it is a
bar.
very good looking, and I'm excited to try some of the stuff.
Yeah. Green chili.
I know a Pueblo poutine that brings full circle.
I know. You went to Canada. You hated it. You're back. Sorry, Paul. Paul's our resident Canadian.
Oh, it's an acquired taste. Limoncello, every Italian family that I know in Pueblo makes their own. Aberdeen is a really cool neighborhood in Pueblo that is just old and really, really beautiful. Like even what's in there, rosemary, juniper berry, and lime, that's all. If you go to Aberdeen, it's almost like you can smell rosemary and juniper. So these are really thoughtful.
The cocktail menu is thoughtful.
Yeah. Oh, yay.
Holy.
Challenge accepted.
This episode is brought to you by Aura Frames. What does your mom want for Mother's Day? Well, my mom always just wants pictures of her kids, all together, with her grandkids. And this is a tall order because we don't all live in the same place. So I hate to spoil this for you, Brooke, because I know you're listening, but you're getting an Aura digital picture frame for Mother's Day, which is coming up soon, like May 11th. So don't forget. Aura Frames was named the best digital photo frame by Wirecutter and featured in 495 gift guides last year. So next time you need to call your mom, you can also send her a new pic of you from that trip you've been telling her all about, right from your phone. I think the only picture my mom has of all of us together is at Casa Bonita. It's the only time maybe all of us were together. Aura has a great deal for Mother's Day, too. For a limited time, listeners can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off plus free shipping on their best-selling Carver mat frame. That's auraframes.com. Use promo code CityCast. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm going to cut the slopper in half.
Oh my God. I can't say I know much about a slopper. Is it just a burger with chili on it?
Yeah, I could probably be disowned for telling everyone, all of your listeners, that I've never actually had a slopper in Pueblo before. I know.
Well, I have to say, it's not a thing I would think you would be into.
Yeah, the concept always really kind of made me, it just sounded like a lot of things.
Yeah. It's kind of like a Mexican hamburger. I just won't do it.
Yeah.
You know? I like the fresh onions.
I love the fresh onions. I was actually going to say that. These pictures are cool, too, because growing up in Pueblo, you always knew the CF&I as it's the closest thing Pueblo will have to a skyline. You know, it's just like this old school infrastructure that's always at the south side of the city.
I didn't think about that.
But it's so rare to have access to it that, like, any child growing up there, unless you're going to work there, it's treated with, like, an element of allure.
Yeah.
You just don't see it. So these pictures are interesting because they take you behind the scenes.
Of this thing you just see and identify with your...
It was the
It's
backdrop to my childhood. We lived right there. And I mean, even if there was, heaven forbid, an explosion at the plant or any kind of accident, you could hear it. It's a small community built around
A plant.
a plant.
But I don't know your family's history in Pueblo.
I was so curious if that would come up at all.
When did the Casadoses move to the valley?
The Casadoses moved there, in like the 1950s from northern New Mexico. Post World War II, my dad's dad was a mechanic and worked for not the CF&I, but he worked for a lot of things coming out of the CF&I. If that was like worked, I don't know. Like,
What's the CF&I?
that's what this
The
is.
railroad?
That's what this is.
Oh, the steel mill.
The fuel and iron.
Oh.
Colorado Fuel and Iron. CF&I is why most people moved to Colorado from like where they were from in northern New Mexico. It was like an industrial job. It was a really well-paying job. That's ultimately not what my dad's dad did. He did a lot of odd jobs, but was a veteran of World War II, a mechanic for the Army. And then my mom's dad worked at the CF&I, but died of mesothelioma. So, yeah, it was a work hazard. And I mean, that's the other thing, too. I think for anyone that's from northern Colorado that had like a little bit more of a blue-collar upbringing, Pueblo's super familiar. It feels like your grandpa's chair. If you can appreciate it for what it is, you love it.
I get that. No, I get that.
Yeah.
So if I told you 10 years ago, someone wants to open a Pueblo-themed bar in downtown Denver, what would you say to me?
I would have questioned their intentions. I would have really been aggressively skeptical.
What makes you less aggressively skeptical now?
The space and meeting the people.
Do you think Pueblo's ready for...
Interlopers. carpetbaggers.
Yeah.
No. There's a lot that goes on down there culturally that if you're not a part of the community, it's conspicuous that you're there.
I just wonder.
I think they are. I think they like hosting a party. Like the Green Chili and Frijoles Festival is down there. And that's always incredible and fun. So I think they're ready. I like any part of Colorado, I wonder if it has the infrastructure to take any kind of
Growth.
growth.
I feel you.
Yeah.
And then obviously concerns about affordability and what happens when people discover you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'll be curious what other Pueblonians? I'd be curious what other people from Pueblo think about this bar.
I think they like it. Good food. I love the atmosphere, and the people have been really nice.
Well, David Casados, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
And here's what else Denverites are talking about. Rumors are swirling about Casa Bonita's reopening. We've seen pictures of a crane looming over the top of the Mexican restaurant in a strip mall. And now, thanks to Crafty DM on Twitter, it sounds like the cliff divers have been training at Carmody Rec Center in Lakewood. The South Park dudes said they're hoping to reopen by the end of the year, and someone tossed out September as a possible date. But could it be sooner? Maybe that's just my wishful thinking. That's all for today here on CityCast Denver. If you enjoyed the show, why not take a minute to tell a friend about us? Rate the show wherever you get your podcasts, and subscribe to our morning newsletter, where today, Peyton is dishing on CityCast Denver's piping hot takes about Denver's new area code. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye-bye. September would be cool, too, because that's when my birthday is, so, just do the old, had my 21st birthday there, had my 8th birthday there, had my 42nd birthday there.